Hello, hello. Welcome back, or welcome for your first time. Thank you so much for joining me. If I haven't already introduced myself, and I don't think that I did, my name is Danae, and welcome to the Danae Collective. So, this is episode 4 of RV Life, What I Eat in a Week. And this episode is all about Thanksgiving. So I ended up spending Thanksgiving at my sister's house where me and my mom did most of the cooking. And by most, I do mean my mom did most of the cooking. I contributed to maybe three side dishes. There we go. So this first side dish that you see me doing is the carrots and parsnips. Now my mom gave me a recipe that she's been using, and I was like, that's nice. How cute. And I just used it as a guideline. So you can see that I completely branched out. I added butter. I did the olive oil like what was in the recipe, but just a little bit. I did brown sugar. I did honey. I probably would have preferred maple syrup, but didn't see any maple syrup because I was not at my own house. And I don't have any maple syrup right now anyway, so what's the matter? There are a plethora of spices that went into it, so I wanted it to be kind of sweet but savory. It had notes of ginger and nutmeg, a little bit of pepper, some garlic and onion powder, so it turned out really nice. And I wanted to make sure that the sweetness kind of cooked off, and it mostly did. It enhanced the carrots, but it mellowed out the spicy bite of the parsnip, so I was pretty happy with that. Now the kale salad I had to make because my mom did not really make a lot of cold, fresh foods to go with our official feast, which you see is cornbread stuffing. My mom made a cornbread from scratch. We've got a mixture of cheddar biscuits and those like morning rolls. We have mashed potatoes and the brown gravy used or made using the drippings from the turkey. By the way, if I sound a little it's because my throat is sore right now. I don't know if someone gave me their seasonal cold or if it's just my time of the year, because I don't know. So I skipped over it, but there was a garnish plate that I did. This is cranberry sauce out of the can. We did not remember to get cranberries, so we could not make fresh cranberry sauce. And then you've got this gloriously golden turkey here. And then there's my little plate. I am a sucker for mashed potatoes, so you can see I really loaded up on mashed potatoes there. And I forgot to mention that there was a little Friendsgiving gathering with my little kava group that I spend time with every Wednesday. And one of them made that delicious pecan pie. And then because I ate so much food at my sister's house for Thanksgiving, I did not have room for dessert. So I brought my 2 pieces of pie home, one of which was the apple crumble and the other one was a slice of sweet potato pie. We do not do pumpkin pie in my household. That's gross. I'm sorry. I said what I said. I don't like pumpkin. I don't like it. So I ended up eating that apple crumble, I think like the next day, which is this day that we're on right now, where I am cutting up some fresh veggies and whatnot to make a turkey salad. And I know that sounds weird, but it's basically I am sauteing up some ground turkey because I'm staying on brand for Thanksgiving. I did not remember to have my mom cut some additional turkey off of the butterball for me to bring home. And the one serving that I made to take with me, I actually gave to a friend because they were at home sick for Thanksgiving. So, gee, I wonder how I ended up sick. But anyway, I gave them the serving that I had, and then they gave me half an acorn squash because they had made acorn squash to go with their Thanksgiving feast at their family's house, but they didn't end up going because they were a sicky poo. So I ended up with half an acorn squash. I don't know what seasoning they put onto it, but it came out tasting really, really good. So kudos to you if you ever watch this video. So what I ended up doing is I think it's half of the container of ground turkey, and I saute it up with a bunch of spices, as well as onion, garlic, yellow pepper, and a mushroom. And then once that's all cooked down and cooled off, I add it to a salad along with the squash that I was given. And I can't remember what other additional ingredients went into it. I think it was like cilantro and green onion, which added a lot of flavor. Oh, that's right. I had the leftover kidney beans, corn, and celery, so that went into this. And then later on in the video, you will see that I only ate half of the portion of the ground turkey that I cooked. So I ended up combining that with the leftover beans, corn, and celery that I had. And then I ended up repurposing that the following day in a different recipe. So here's that acorn squash that I was talking about, looking real good. I had to peel it because they literally just split it in half, seasoned it, threw it on a pan, and let it cook. So it did require a little bit of prep before it was ready to go into my salad. And it's a good thing too, because I gave it a little tasty taste before I started seasoning my meat. That way I knew what kind of seasonings I was working with, because they did like a kind of sweet seasoning on it. I'm assuming there was probably some brown sugar, some cinnamon, some kind of pepper, and there's that ground turkey that I got. So like I said, I split it in half, and I originally put the other half in the fridge thinking that I was going to cook it later on in the week, and then I just didn't I didn't consider the fact that I was still so full and didn't really need a lot of food. So I ended up putting that other half of the ground turkey into the freezer so I can use that at a later date. And here I am sauteing up the spices, not the spices, the vegetables and the aromatics, so I can get those kind of like sweated down. And then I end up adding the meat to it, along with, I believe I do, paprika, umami, and thank goodness there was a there was a sale on spices, because I ran out of 2 spices literally in this video, and I was like, oh no, and I would have forgotten that I didn't have them, but when I went and did my grocery shop, I was like, oh excellent, they have them on sale. So if I remember correctly, we've got some annatto in there, some bay leaf. It will show you in a second the spices. Here we go. I was just impatient. So I did poultry seasoning, smoked paprika, bay leaves, some jalapeno and Old Bay. I do add some annatto and turmeric in there for color. And I believe, because I do it in everything, I do the umami seasoning and a little bit of red pepper flakes. So you see everything all lined up there together. Oh, that's right. I added the Cajun blend. Forgot about that. I think I did that because I don't have any cayenne. And I swear, every time I open any kind of cupboard, cabinet, drawer, Jack is trying to get in it. So you'll notice that he just ran out of there. And then we're back to spicing up our meats. So I love this new pan that I found. I actually found this while at a Habitat for Humanity. It's super cute. I don't know why someone got rid of it. It works just fine. A couple scratches in the middle is not a big deal. And I love the handle on it. It's got like a perfect little divot for your thumb. Plus I like those wood tones and whatnot. So it was a nice find. So you see here, I am liberally dusting this meat with seasoning, and I'm going to mix that up, eventually let that cool down and set it aside. And then we're going to switch over to the bowl of my salad greens. So I typically, from my local grocery store, if I go shop there, I'm specifically looking for the deals, like the buy one get ones, because it makes my money stretch further. But the downside of that is I live in a small space, so some things that if I buy 2 of, I have a hard time figuring out where I'm going to store it, so I have to do it within reason, right? So with this situation, I ended up doing a buy one get one on like the pre-made salad kits, and one of them was a pear and gorgonzola, which had I guess it's more like I think they call them field greens, where it's a mixture of like spinach and arugula and different types of lettuce. So I end up using that, or half of that package, with this meal. And you'll notice that I only really do a couple meals for this week because I had so many leftovers, just from this and from the chili that I make later, that there was really no point in me videoing it twice, right? So this particular meal ended up being split in two, so I had half of it this night, and then I used the other half of it to make chili. And because the chili ended up getting like tomato sauce and all these extra components into it, that turned into two meals on its own. So I was out of most of my salad fixings. Like, I like to have cucumber and sometimes some tomato. And if I remember correctly, I ended up putting, oh, there's the greens. So I ended up putting the acorn squash in there. I think I put some salsa in there just so I can get the bits of tomato. I'm sure we'll see it. There's my cilantro and green onion that I add in. Little tea break for a second. Ooh, look at that. That's the opening scene. Look at that. It looks so good. So because I feel like I'm coming down with a cold, I did make a ginger tea. That will probably be featured in episode 5 because I filmed it today and I was not about to add it to my already almost finished episode 4. But it is honey and ginger, and like the honey is like it's filled with bits of ginger, so you get like the texture, you get the spicy bite. I also did white jasmine tea with it just because I wanted something more than just ginger in there. And the ginger is mainly to try and fight off this cold, which I feel is progressing as I speak because I was not stuffy and I'm starting to feel stuffy. It sucks. Anyway, oh, I just realized I could have added some of my seeds in here because I always have pumpkin seeds and sunflower seeds. I could have added that to this salad. Dang it. Well, anyway, like I was saying, most of my salad fixings I was out of, like fresh cucumber. Oh, no, I'm not. Ah, look at that. I still have some cucumber left. I think I'm remembering later on in the episode where I used the last little bit of this cucumber on a salad. I was too far ahead of myself. I apologize. Point being, I am thinking after the fact how many different things I could have added to this salad that I do have in my possession, but it doesn't matter. It was a good salad. I actually, like I said, I only used a portion of the bag, so it was actually much lighter than I would have anticipated, and I kept forgetting that I have some pre-made purple rice left over in the fridge. I meant to put that into this salad, and then I found the container after the fact and was like, oh no. So I still have to use that for something before it goes bad, hopefully. And for tonight's beverage, I am doing a liqueur. Cherry blossom. When I first got that one, the flavor felt like I was drinking a bowl full of flowers. But it has grown on me. Actually, the liqueur has grown on me in general because I've had so many people complain that they weren't very flavorful. I knew I put salsa in there. Look at that. But I had so many people complain that it was like a burp of flavor into the beverage. Like someone had an afterthought and, you got a little bit of taste to it. But I think it's more flavorful than I anticipated, so that's good, right? So of course the first bite was for you, and I wanted to make sure I got it all mixed up so that I got a little bit of everything with each bite. I do not have large salad bowls, so I had to use this humongous bowl that I have. And this, like I said, I was so full after Thanksgiving Day that I did not eat dessert and I did not eat anything all day the following day. Um, I think I ended up making this meal around like 9 p.m. So that one salad, as hearty as it is, was my meal for the entire day because I couldn't stomach anything for hours before my stomach was finally like, "Are you gonna feed me? I'm hungry." You know? So there's the leftovers, like I mentioned, that I mixed up with the beans and corn. We're gonna pop that in the fridge and we'll use that later. And oh, I am so excited to mention this. Now, it doesn't show in this episode because, again, this was filmed before today. But I finally have my propane hookup for the RV, so you'll see me using the big burners next episode. So the reason why it took so long is, one, the cover that goes over where the propane tanks are was just covered in spiders. Whoever used this RV before me had not given it a power wash in a long time, and I still have to do that. But yeah, so couldn't quite get access to it, and then once we got the cover off and some of the little spideys cleaned up, I was able to see that, oh, there are two, I think they're 30-gallon tanks, and they were both empty because, again, whoever was using it beforehand had left them on. Like, you're supposed to have, supposedly, one of your propane tanks is like sealed off, right? And the other one is on and it's hooked up to the house so that it's just a continuous flow of gas. And you can switch which one is supplying the house. And I guess they just left them both open. And I was like, wow, what a waste of gas. So it took a while to find a, I guess, gas distributor in the area that wasn't just trying to take my cans and replace them with a smaller one. I was like, no, we want to refill these. I don't want a smaller propane tank. So finally found somebody, only to realize that they were closed the day that I had the tanks with me. So I had to wait an extra day, and I almost had to have a little fight with somebody because when I arrived, they were filling up the truck with all the tanks. And I'm like, does that mean I have to come back? I've waited 2 weeks. I felt like I felt like Sirius in Azkaban. I've done my waiting. 2 weeks of it. So, point being, your girl finally has the propane hookup. I originally thought that I was going to have to like ask for help to get the tanks on to the RV again. But I guess I'm stronger than I thought I was because I was able to lift those 30-pound tanks once they were filled and get them back in place. Oh my God. Ugh. I'm so sorry. Okay, I had to take a little tea break right there. So you'll see here that I am using the meat, beans, and whatnot left over with a can of Rotel tomatoes, which has like green chilies in it, and a jar of Classico spicy marinara because I wanted that little kick of heat. And I already had an open thing of chicken broth, so we're just going to go ahead and dump that right on in there with our pureed tomatoes, tomato sauce. And I don't think I had to add any other like liquids to this, but I did add some additional seasonings. I did chili powder. I would have added cumin, but I didn't have any. I added more paprika. I added a bay leaf. I think I added a bit more turmeric in there, and of course more umami, because like while the meat was already flavorful, it's getting drowned out by a bunch of liquids. So I was like, let me just make sure that this has plenty of flavor to it, and it did. It was so good. I actually finished the rest of that chili, I think it was last night. So that got me through actually 3 days of meals because I made some salad to, I made some salad to go on the side and just warmed it up. So that did me good right there. I think I might make another turkey chili with the other half at some point. I don't know if I'm going to do it the same way, but we'll see. Nice little close-up on all the ingredients. Now, personally, I love that it's got the mushrooms in there. I think the only thing that I would do differently, because I've had a couple turkey chilies that I've made, and I like having lentils in there, but I did not pre-soak or cook any lentils, and I was working with one burner at the time, so why would I do that to myself? So we're going to start getting everything dished up. I wanted to let my chili kind of cool down a little bit, which is kind of counterintuitive because once I add the vegan cheese on there, I had to throw it into the microwave anyway so that the cheese would melt, because that's the one thing about the vegan cheeses that I've noticed is it don't melt so good all the time. So here I am using the other half of that same salad mix that I used the day before to make today's salad. And you'll see I'm working with like minimal ingredients. I've got some feta, I've got what's left of my manzanilla olives. I keep forgetting that I actually want to boil some eggs and pickle them in the olive juice, which that'll be so salty, but I want to try it anyway. I usually do pepperoncinis, and I'll pickle eggs in pepperoncini juice, and it's so good. Oh my God. But I haven't boiled any eggs to pickle recently. This is my nut mixture of choice for this salad. It's got, I think the peanuts, cashews, there's some spices on both. It's pretty good. I wasn't a fan of, I think it's the peanuts that are in there, but the cashews were good. And little balsamic drizzle. I completely forgot that I still had the rest of that cucumber, so I pulled that out, chopped it up, and got it added to my plate. And then to top my soup, which has been reheated and has the melted cheese on it, and then I'm gonna add the green onions and cilantro over the top, and then I'm gonna decorate it with some nice fluffed out avocado slices, which just add a mild, I guess fatty warmth to it. I don't know how to describe it. I love having avocado when I'm eating chili. Right? Doesn't she look pretty? And then I have this Hache chili finishing salt that I like to use on tomatoes and avocado. Making me hungry just looking at it. Oh my. Okay, and now here we are moving over to the table so we can sit down and eat. Tonight's beverage of choice is the probiotic soda. I believe it's the bubbly rosé, or no, raspberry rosé, I think is what it's called. We've got some close-up shots of this delicious chili that I made, the salad. Why did I not think to add craisins? I have so much dried fruit. Why did I keep forgetting? First sips for you, babe. A little bit of soup. And then we'll get a nice bite of salad for you at some point, if I think about it. Oh, there we go. There's your salad. Yum, 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 yum. So it has been delightfully cold recently, which is actually annoying because we had a cold front, and then for actual Thanksgiving Day, it was in the 80s, and I was sweating my little butt off in that dress that I have on, because that dress is really more of like a wintertime thing because it's clingy, it's got some warmth to it. And I was inside my sister's house, and it feels like she doesn't like to turn her AC on at any point or something. All right. I believe on this day as well, it was a very, very late meal because I was focused on editing. There was some issues that I had with episode 2 where like the videos I was using just disappeared. I don't know why. So when I thought I was done, I wasn't done. It pulled me back in. I had to fix it. Same thing actually happened with this episode, but thankfully it only happened when I was 8 minutes in, considering this is now a 30-minute long video. But I had made like this really, really cute intro opening scene, which is basically the same as what it is right now. It just wasn't focused on the chili. It was focused on a salad and me pulling the salad away. But I don't know what happened to that video. I tried to recover it, couldn't recover it, so I had to start from scratch and changed it to a different clip. And I mean, it still worked out, for the best, but that was frustrating for me because I had spent a good portion of my night the day before focused on that first little 9 to 10 minutes, only to come back the following day and I'm like, where's half of my videos? All right, and here comes Jack, a little troublemaker. So he is definitely loving his automatic feeder. It scares the daylights out of me every time it goes off because it has my voice recording on it saying, come on babies, come eat, because I'm under the impression, or when I did the recording, I was under the impression that I was going to get my other cat, and that has not happened yet. So it's still just me and my little cuteness overlord. My little lady is staying somewhere else at the moment, but hopefully she will one day join us. If not, so long as she's happy and healthy, it's okay. I'm sure that Jack probably misses her just as much as I miss her. But at the same time, I'm happy that they're not fighting over food like they were before. So there's a couple clips in here where he is finally playing. Like, it took 3 weeks before he got comfortable enough to be like, I'm gonna play. He's got all this foot space that I keep nice and clean for him, and he's got so many different toys on the floor, and I was like, why won't he play with any of his toys? So here he is. He loves to do, I don't want to call it fetch. It is basically fetch, but I think he gets insulted when I treat it like it's fetch, because look at him, he's just like, nah, I'm not bringing it back. But he loves when I throw his toys because he'll chase after them and swat them, and they'll bounce across the room. And he's done that since he was a kitty. I almost said puppy, but he's done that since he was a kitty. So to me, it's just so heartwarming to see him finally just like chillaxed and finally playing and being a goofball in this space, because I know for a while he was like, I don't know why we're here, what's going on, I don't know this place, this smell, it doesn't smell like me, So he also has gotten a lot more confident when it comes to poking his little head out the window. And I will sometimes wake up because he is nudging at the blinds and he wants the window open, even though I'm like, you can't. Let me rephrase. I don't know if he can see outside when it's dark, but I can't see outside when it's dark. And it kind of creeps me out to have the windows open, especially the one right next to my face near the bed, because that's the one he's usually nuzzling on. And I'm like, I don't want this open. What if they come to cut the grass and all of a sudden I wake up and, Miguel down there staring at my face? So yeah, he is definitely enjoying his little animal watching. Haven't seen a lot of birds, I will admit. But we do see squirrels. They come barking all the time, and he gets to see them from 2 different sides because he'll watch them through the front door, or he'll watch them through the window, and then every now and then I'll see him kind of fixated on the bunnies that are outside. So he's definitely getting plenty of engagement, lots of cuddles. Look at his little feet. Oh. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed, by all means, please make sure you hit that like button or subscribe. Come back and see me again soon. Next episode should drop Wednesday, December 11th. Bye!